Today we're doing a pinch pot animal, and we're going to talk about sketches and how to make these animals look, well, come to life. So in your sketch, and one of the requirements is you have to use at least 3 pinch pots. You can use more, but you have to think pinch pots, you have to think of them as the shape, and you're not going to always keep them as a pinch pot, but your animals have to be hollow. So I'm going to make a pinch pot. Actually, I'm going to make 3. So I labeled them 1, 2, 3. Small one here. I'm going to put 2 bigger ones together, and then you need 6 details. So on mine, I'm going to create some kind of a base that shows the feet, and then on the details, I'm going to count both wings as a detail because they're going to take me a while. I'm going to put some texture in them too. But I have eyes, beak, tail, feet, wings. Okay? So to make a pinch pot, which I'm sure a lot of you have already done, you want to take a good amount of clay, and you want to roll equal amounts of clay into spheres. So I'm just kind of feeling them to see if they're about the same size, and I don't think they are. So I'm going to take some clay away. And before I start rolling, I'm going to kind of do this hand check where I look at them and I try to decide if they're about equal. So this one is still a little bit bigger. I'm going to take some clay away. Notice how you're not rolling slabs at all for this project. You are just making pinch pots. So the first time I've touched my clay, I'm putting them into these sphere shapes, okay? So step 1 would be to smooth it out, so roll it. Try to get out all of those little creases. You don't have to get them all out. And then do it to the second one as well, because we want to make sure they're the same size. Okay, so if they're about the same size, then we can start pinching. Whenever I do pinch pots, I tell kids to start by putting their thumb straight down into the middle, and then I tell them to flip it upside down so it's on their thumb. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch and turn, pinch and turn. So I'm starting to pinch close to the top, but I'm going to turn as I go. And I've just made one complete, there we go. I've gone all the way around, and now I start to get this cup shape, which is what you want. Now most kids, when they come to my class, they pinch like this with both hands. I don't recommend this because then it's just gonna go out and out, 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 and it'll become an actual bowl. You wanna keep your shapes pretty compact depending on what kind of animal you're making. So I always tell kids to hold it upright, have gravity help you, pinch and turn, pinch and turn. And you wanna pinch until all of the clay is down at the bottom. So I can kind of feel with my hands where I still have some thicker parts up here. You do not want big, thick areas on your pinch pot because a lot of times that's where there can be an air bubble trapped, and sometimes those explode. So the next step, once you have it pinched, is to get a wooden spoon. Now, you can use your mom's wooden spoon at home once you're going home and doing this, but you want to use the curved end, and you want to tap on the clay this does 2 things. It smooths out all of your fingerprints, and then it also squashes any air bubbles that might be trapped in there. You just want to make sure your hand is supporting it on the inside. It can also help you get some height. If you're trying to keep your pinch pots taller rather than wider, use the wooden spoon. Okay, so there I have one pinch pot. This looks good. It's a little bit wide, but that's okay. So now I'm gonna go ahead and pinch the other one. So let's do this again. So I'm gonna put my thumb straight down into the middle, and then I'm just gonna pinch and turn. And I'm pinching from the top, and you don't want it to get too thin, because then you'll probably push your thumb through on accident. But whenever kids have problems with their pinch pots getting too wide, I always tell them to kind of cup it in one hand and then pinch with the other. And again, you want to bring all the clay down towards the bottom. And I put both hands in to kind of feel if it feels thick in any areas, and if not, I just keep pinching. And once I have it about as much as I can pinch, then I use the wooden spoon again to tap and to get rid of all those marks from my fingers. Now, one thing that might happen, as you can see on mine, is it's not equal all the way around, and that's okay. Again, instead of ripping it off, just do this. Just tap it on the table to try to get it to be even. Okay, so I have both pinch spots here, and let's put them together and see if they match. I mean, that's pretty good. This one is a little bit bigger than the other one, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. So one thing you can do, you can either pinch this one so it's a little bit wider to match it, but in my case, I'm trying to make this bird shape, so I'm actually there's two things you can do to kind of get rid of some of the wideness in your clay. You can kind of pinch one side like this. This is what I do whenever I need it to be a little bit of a different shape, and then you just shave this off, and then you just make sure that it has enough clay here that it's like sticking back together. Okay, so that usually will help with some of those little areas. If you think your pinch spots need to be a little bit less wide instead of starting all the way over, which sometimes you have to do, we'll just use those. So that's about perfect. So I'm going to tap again. So I have two pinch spots. This is the body of my bird. Now I know what you're thinking. This does not look like a bird yet. Well, that's okay. We're going to get there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to score and slip these together. So I'm going to do all my scoring and then I'll restart.